Hello everyone, this is Jonathan with his 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee 3.0 liter CRD diesel engine. Just wanted to explain a few things that I've done so far since it's a little different than a Grand Cherokee of its type. Just makes it a little easier for anybody else out there that would have some questions or do some common maintenance items. So, a few things that I've done so far is I was having a kind of a, what do you call it? A knocking sound. It turned out my upper control arm was bad. So it has 150,000 miles on it. High time to get it done. So just a few tips when working with the upper control arm. One, your ball joint separator, the fork looking thing to go on here, lifesaver. Get it. It's worth the $25. So if you look over here, you'll see that we've got bolts on the left and the right. This bolt is actually real easy to get to. All you have to do is come into the hood here, take out your fuses, and then it's right down here. I can't really show you. Actually, it's like right down through there. But it makes it easier. You can get to it. The other thing is that on the other side, though, that can be a little bit harder. So what the easiest thing to do is to take this panel right here out. It's just by some pop-in screws, kind of slides out of the metal here. And then you can reach in there, then be able to get a ratchet in there and be able to bust that free. You can't do it from the top because it sits way down in there and it's kind of a pain. You don't want to bust your brake lines. So, easiest thing to do is come from the bottom. The next thing I wanted to point out was, again, I've done this on both front wheels, is I've put a 2.5-inch lift on it. I've also replaced the shocks and struts. Now, with that in mind, putting this in was kind of a pain. The easiest thing to do, though, was to make sure I had a pair of vice grips so that right here I could clamp them on and then be able to still get to the studs on the top. Your studs for this side, at least, are, again, underneath the fuse boxes here. So taking those out is paramount to being able to get in there. Now, the vice grips make it so that you can get down in there easily and then just be able to get a ratchet on top and just crank it really hard. Now, there's a few things that I wanted to kind of show you down here as well. To be able to put that strut in as well as the 2.25-inch lift, you have to take the, what do you call it, the turn bar, whatever it is. You have to basically take out the entire low assembly. So you have to take out this bolt, this one, that one. A lot of your control arm stuff you have to disengage. So be patient, use a jack to your advantage, don't force anything, and you'll be fine. It takes some time and some wiggling. Make sure you have a good floor jack and some jack stands to be able to work safely. Now, let me show you a few other things that I've done on here. That way you can see what I'm talking about. So what I've done here on my exhaust is I've taken off the standard exhaust box filter, whatever the hell it is, and then I've put on a can filter. That can filter has given me quite a bit more freedom, moves quickly. I do have to clean it quite often, so every time I do an oil change, about every 3 to 4 months, because the type of oil that I buy from, what do you call it, idparts.com, you can see that I just literally have to do a quick clean out every time I do an oil change and we're good to go. There are a few other components I want to mention that have just come up over time. Underneath the cover here, you have your turbo intake. The turbo intake has the EGR valve going in there. Make sure every time you do an oil change, you take all that off and you clean out from inside the turbo intake. There'll be oil, there'll be junk, and if that gets in your turbo, you're going to have to replace the turbo, and that will suck. Another common problem on these is the actuator fan. The actuator fan, you need to just basically unplug, because what happens is oil will get in there and short it out, and then it'll cause the engine to go into limp home mode. That's never fun, but all you have to do is take a small, what do you call it, transistor, and then put it into the plug, and it thinks it's plugged in, and it operates like normal. So that's literally what I have on here, so I have not noticed a degradation in performance or anything like that. So, other than that, that's pretty much all I've done on the hood side. Again, I'll go on this side just so you can see. Same thing with the upper control arm. You see my 2.5-inch lift. I'm working on some bigger tires. Not quite there yet, but hope to be there soon. You know, it's just pretty much a mirror of the other side when you have to go through, undo your bolts, all that stuff to make sure that it's all, you wiggle it out when you're taking care of parts. Now let me just kind of walk back here, show you my back tires. I have replaced the struts back here So those have been replaced with parts from Rock Auto. I either buy my stuff from ID Parts, which is a lot of my fluids, or I buy my other parts from Rock Auto, definitely cheaper. You'll also see I've got the 2.5-inch lift back here as well. I did not replace my coils. They were still in good condition. Didn't see a reason to spend money I didn't need. But to get that lift in there was quite a bit of a pain. I had to literally disengage the entire back assembly. Let me show you down here. I had to literally disengage the entire back assembly all underneath here. Now, this was literally completely free from the rest of the vehicle. I had to take off this back sway control bar and then drop it down and then use a jack underneath my transmission transfer case, or I should say my transfer case, to then push it back up and to slowly kind of wiggle it back in so the bolts would go in on each side. It definitely was a little on the hard side. I'd make sure that you have an extra person. Again, jack stands and a good floor jack is a must. Don't try to do this on your own if you can help it. It's always nice when you have somebody you can help and get a bolt in there while you're lifting it up with the jack of some sort. So just keep that in mind as you're going through things. Let me show you the other side right quick as well. That we kind of started. I do need to wash it. I apologize for that. Now, I will show you down in here. Again, same thing. We've got the 2.5-inch lift there. We've got the strut that I replaced. And then, you know, again, like I said, didn't replace the coils. Didn't see a reason to. But, you know, it's a standard Grand Cherokee. So if you just look up 2007, you can usually get what you need off the internet for being able to make it happen. But just keep that in mind, that it's very a time-consuming process when working on cars, but keep at it, don't give up, and a lot of times it just takes a 5-minute break so that way you can go clear your head, do a little more research, clean off your hands, drink a beer, and then get back to it. So anyway, just wanted to kind of go over that. As I do more repairs, I'm hoping that I can video what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and then kind of run through quickly what's happening to kind of help as I do more and more on this vehicle. Hopefully I'm gonna get some new tires and rims here in the next few months is the idea, to help fill this wheel well, which is now kind of a cavern. I'll also hopefully be getting a tuner from a company, which I have not decided which one yet, help boost that performance and increase my gas mileage. So anyway, this is Jonathan. Just wanted to kind of run that through. If you've got any, if you got 2007 or 2008, or even you got a 2009, I would love to hear your take on things and what you've done to mod. There's a whole list on the Jeep forums that can tell you exactly the different types of things that you can do to help make this, you know, a better vehicle. Just anything that you find, definitely would want to know. Oh, let me mention one thing that I do as well is every once a month, 2 months, I'll put a whole can of Seafoam in the tank when it's almost empty and then fill it up. That so far has helped, as far as I can tell, just keeping it from starting to lag and being a bit of a pain when you're working on things. So just a little tip to kind of help. So hope that is helpful to you, and if you have any questions or you like another video or kind of want to see something, if you're considering purchasing one of these, would definitely love to talk. Hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. Thanks so much.